Hi guys, it's Lynn here. Hope everyone is having a fantastic plant-powered day. Now today I'm going to be potting on my beautiful Sansevieria ehrenbergii into its new pot. And this is the incredible Sansevieria here. It's like a huge big fan. Absolutely beautiful. We have quite a lot of different Sansevierias in our collection, many different types, but this one has to be the most outstanding in how it looks and its size. It is huge. We have it in our kitchen, in the kitchen window, and it is absolutely massive, and it's growing and growing and growing, and as you can see, very much in need of a repot. So very excited to repot this beauty today and to share the repotting with you all. I'll just show you, there's my hand, that's the size of it. It's incredible. Now what I've got here, I've got the next size pot up here, and I'm going to talk about the soil mix in a minute, and I'll just show you the camera. I've got a mix of bit of loam, pumice, lava rock and sharp sand, and I've used it a bit of a mix of each. It's probably about 60% loam soil, LOAM, which I'm using John Innes #2 loam soil, mixed with about 10% pumice and 10% lava rock, and also about 10 to 15% sharp sand, giving it all a really good mix about. So it's very well draining. And when it comes to repotting succulent plants, you want to make sure the soil is well draining. And I do change the soil mix depending on what type of succulent I'm potting up, because some like more of a grittier soil and some like more moisture retaining. But a good all-round general, if you're not sure, the most important thing is that it's a well-draining soil mix. And if you want to know how to make a fairly basic cactus and succulent soil that will do for the majority of cacti and succulents, then check out a video I have made on how to make cactus and succulent soil in 3 easy steps. Links up above and down below in the video description. And that's sort of a general purpose soil that goes for pretty much all. Very well draining. But if you're not sure, go for the most well draining you can, because succulents, including Sansevieria, are very prone to rot. And I've made quite a few Sansevieria videos over the years, one how to save a Sansevieria from rot and other types, so do check them out as well. They'll be on this channel, but I'll link them down below in the video description. So if you're new to growing Sansevierias, then or DRACEANAs as they're called now, I don't think I'll ever get used to them being put in that category, but I'm still going to call them Sansevierias for a long time, then do check them videos out for some help on there on different advice. Now, here we go. I'm going to be taking this out of the pot, checking over the root system. As long as the roots are all okay, then I'm going to be potting it on into the next size pot. So obviously take the label out. Now this is one of them plastic pots that you can't squeeze because it's quite hard. But luckily, I think the soil is quite loose enough in this, so just go around the edges just to loosen it up a bit here. And then this should be fairly easy to repot because it's quite large, and I think it's going to come out quite easy. So just turning it on its side to make sure that the root ball, I need to loosen that up a little bit more because I don't want to force it out. Squeeze the pot a bit more. Hey, it's good, like a little sandcastle. And what I like to do then is check over the root system to check there's no pests, because things like root mealybugs and vine weevers and other pests often lurk. Wow, look at that, guys. These are like the little runners that come up, and these actually, believe it or not, that looks like it's a big fleshy root, but this will come up eventually up to the top, and then it'd be little pups, and that's how they come, as little runners underneath. So I don't need to worry about that. Just pot it up. They'll eventually find their way up to the top, and then you get more little plants. So it's exciting, and a very good root system here. Very happy about that. And as you can see there, no signs of pests at all, which is great. Now it's not too, it is quite root bound, but it's not really matted. So what I like to do when I pot plants on into the new pot, just like to loosen them up a little bit, so I gently tease the roots. Now I like to be extremely careful, because the less you can sort of touch the roots, the better. But I personally find, in my experience, I know some people disagree and just say just plant it up as it is. I always find it helps just to loosen up the roots just a little bit. And Sansevierias, a little bit like Gasterias and Hawortias and Aloes, and they're sort of similar in the sense that quite often when I repot Sansevierias, the roots will have died back, and what I do then, I give them a good pruning. I don't need to in this case because these roots are all okay, but if I had to, I'd give them a good pruning and then leave them unpotted overnight for about 24 to 48 hours, a couple of days, and then I pot them back up again just to allow any damaged roots to callus over before putting into the new soil. But I don't need to do that, and I've also made a video on that, so do check that out if you find that you need a bit more help with that. I'll link that also down below. I think that's pretty much okay because there's plenty of it's not matted round there, so this is just going to carry on growing down, so we don't need to disturb it anymore. Maybe just knock away some of this soil here. And Sansevierias are, in my experience, a little bit more forgiving when it comes to soil. Some succulents are very rot prone in house planted type soils, but Sansevieria, when you buy it, it's often always just in peat or them other type of typical house plant soils. Personally myself, I like to use a well draining soil because I like to let the soil totally dry out in between waterings, and they need a very fast well draining soil, not one that's going to hold on to water too long. As I say, they're the two little runners, which are new plants forming, pups that will come up, so you get some more of these little babies soon. Now there's the new soil at the bottom. Put a bit of soil already in there, gently placing it in like that. Perfect. Just move the stand back here so you can see a little bit. That's better. You can see what I'm doing. And then I put some soil all around the sides here. And what I do when I repot plants, cacti and suckers anyway, I like to leave them unwatered for a few days, usually about a week to 10 days, just to allow the roots that have been disturbed, because of how careful you are, you do disturb the roots when you pot them on, just to allow them to acclimatise to the soil and any damaged roots that may have got damaged to heal over as well. And I like to use dry soil. This soil is slightly damp, but not really a problem with Sansevieria as such, but it's not wet soil, so it won't be a problem. If you pot up in wet soil, even if you don't water it, it could still rot if you've got damaged roots. This is absolutely beautiful plant. The only problem is, guys, and I don't know if any of you are the same, I'm sure you're all plant addicts if you're watching this video, there's only so much space you've got. I find I have so many plants I have to repot that the trouble is when I repot them, they don't go back to where there was because there's no room, and it's just a case of, oh dear, I have to repot that plant. But when I do, and it's going in a bigger pot, it's not going to fit back where it was because there's so many plants everywhere. And I don't think I'm alone in that. So let me know. Leave your comments down below, guys, if you're the same. Do you find, you have a lot of plants you need to repot, but the trouble is when you do, bigger pots means more space. Oh dear. Hopefully one day me and Hans will win the lottery and be able to move to a big house with big windows and plenty of huge garden to put a couple of greenhouses up, because a lot of you are the same. There's only so much space you've got. But plant addicts, I often think, why can't I have a passion for something like stamp collecting that doesn't really take up much space? But plants is my therapy, and to make sure that there's any soil gone away on there. Gently press down. I like to tap the pot a little bit just to make sure the soil goes all around underneath, and then gently press down too, so the plant is secure. And as I say, the little runners I've hidden under the soil, but they all work their way up. It's the same with aloes and gasterias and agaves and all that. They have little runners underneath, tubers as they call it, that come up. There we go, that's done. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of top dressing on now, which I'm just going to get. A little bit of top dressing there, which I've just made. Just a bit of lava rock and pumice and a bit of grit, just to finish it off. It makes the plant look nice. Just a little bit of top dressing. Not a necessity, obviously, but it just adds a bit of a nice touch, I find. There we go. That's that done. I'll just take this off the stand so you can see what the plant looks like now from a distance. That's a little labelling. Now, don't ask me where this is going to go. It's going to go obviously back into the kitchen, but it won't fit on the window now, so it's going to have to go on the side. So there we go, guys. What a stunner. It's so beautiful. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. And for lots more tips and tricks on how you can care for and grow cacti and succulents, please do subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to click that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook at Desert Plants of Avalon. And for more growing tips on how you can care for and grow cacti and succulents, do check my website out. I've got lots of growing tips on there. And also I put fairly regular blogs on there and individual plant care as well. So I want to send you loads of love. Heaps of happiness, and the sun's coming out now, yay! And tons of funky plant power from across the Emerald Isle. And until my next video, bye!